Angel of the Grace is good because it, like, saves you from death, brings you back from the brink of death, but fuck that shit. I'm not going to play it in anything.
It's fucking... What has it got? It's got worship and then gain 9 life. Sure.
Let's screw that shit. Hey, listen to Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 98. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan, and today we're going to preview Ravnica Allegiances with our special super duper set review. Now hit our theme song! Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. I'm stuck in the studio all day with you. What's going down?
It's not the worst place that we could be.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
Granted, I do need my sunglasses now because it's midday.
Yeah, we could be shoveling snow. Because while it is very blue outside, I'm sure it's cold as a witch's titty out there.
Yes, witches have some cold-ass titties.
I'm not sure what it is about having magical powers that makes your boobs cold. But one day I will find out what that is.
Feel like I don't want to. I feel like if you stare at, like, a gorgon, you turn to stone. If you stare at a witch with no shirt on, you turn to ice.
Oh.
That's a thing.
If any members of CCO Nation are or happen to know a witch, do ask, why are their boobs so cold? And if the answer is because they don't wear shirts, that's fine. But, I mean, I'm hoping that there would be something a little bit more magical or interesting about it.
If they don't wear shirts, send pics.
We always tell people not to do that, Ryan.
Oh.
Although yesterday you asked people for frickin' butthole nudes.
Yeah, I just... did that stay in the show?
Of course it did. Of course it did.
Why are we back today? What are we doing?
We are going to preview what I think might be the worst named set ever in Ravnica Allegiance. Why is it Allegiance of Ravnica?
Everything is something of Ravnica.
Well, that's because it makes grammatical sense and doesn't make me have to redo the intro 6 times because I can't say the goddamn name.
Yeah, I like the sounds of it. I certainly do. I think something about like some guilds are falling and some guilds are like allegiancing to take down maybe Nicol Bolas or something.
I hope my girls in the Gruul clan are gonna keep it going because
yeah. Speaking of no shirts,
they don't need shirts. They have muscles
and hairy chests.
Oh, I hate body hair.
Yeah, well, I
that's
mean,
like a thing about me. That's like just like a Brando thing. I don't like body hair. It kind of weirds me out a little bit. I don't understand it. Maybe it's because like I don't grow any because maybe I have like a follicle mutation or something, so I don't actually grow.
Yeah,
body,
we are certainly the anomalies out in the Magic playing universe, I guess. Right? No, not a whole ton of body hair.
Yeah, the little tuft of fur that you see on my chin in the YouTube videos and stuff. That is like that's it. That's months of growth.
Yeah, and here's the thing: we live in the north, right? Like we should have the most body hair.
Yeah, I should have like a giant beard and be just walking around all fuzzy, but I'm not. I'd freeze just like everybody else.
How did we get this far off topic again?
I don't know.
Ravnica Allegiance, set review show.
Yeah.
CCO Nation, welcome. Run through our social media coordinates real quick for any new members, or if you're just tuning in for the set review show and you're not a typical member of CCO Nation, Brando will tell you where else you can find us, or if we tell you to get after us on Twitter or shoot us an email or a comment on our YouTube videos, because I think that there's going to be some cards that we have some good engaging discussion about that maybe you guys can help tell Brando he's wrong.
Or that I'm right, because I usually am. You can find us on Twitter at CCO Podcast or CCO Brando, or you can find us at tappedout.net, also CCO Podcast. That's where you can see our deck lists when we are talking about deck lists. If you want to send us an email telling Ryan that I am right and he is wrong, you can send it to commandercookout@gmail.com. You can also send love mail, hate mail, show suggestions, but no nudes.
Yeah, maybe no nudes.
Yeah.
It's probably the best.
In almost 100 episodes, I think that's the first time we've agreed on the no nudes. It's a milestone.
I haven't received nudes in a long time, though, so if you did send them, well,
it's a thing.
Shoulder shrug.
Yeah. You can also find us anywhere that you find your podcasts online, Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you do that. We're also on YouTube and Facebook. You can check us out on Flipside Gaming. You can use promo code CCOFU to get 10% off your entire order store-wide. Or if you want a more full and complete rundown of places that we exist on the internet, you can check out our official home on the entire internet, CommanderCookout.com.
And big thank you to all of our patrons. They are the ones that unlocked our, let's call this bonus content. This is a bonus episode for the month.
Yes, it is.
That was one of our stretch goals. And if you'd like to become a patron, you'd get yourself a brand new, shiny 2019 themed funny altar.
Yeah, we got some cards from, I think it's Ravnica blocks, and you're going to put fireworks and funny hats and sunglasses on dudes. It's going to be cool.
Oh, yeah. Do you wear funny hats at New Year's? Is that a thing?
I think so.
I thought you just, get drunk and, go to sleep at 10 o'clock.
That's what you do.
Yes.
See, I got drunk and went to sleep at 2 o'clock.
I like what I did better. Let's get into it. Do we want to run over any of what the guilds do this time around? Do we care that much?
No.
Well, if we hit cards that have those abilities, we'll care. But a lot of them, as with all Ravnica blocks thus far that we've experienced, have mechanics that were sort of built for limited, because Ravnica's got a really good limited environment every time we go there.
Yes, it does.
Some of those abilities don't really transfer into Commander that great, as evidenced in our Ravnica supplemental series on YouTube. That's what we talk about last Friday and this Friday coming up.
A couple of days from now. You were saying off of the show that you even think that the Ravnica limited environment, which is what the cards are kind of built for, and a lot of the abilities built into the cards are built for, are almost kind of parasitic to Magic.
Well, the Wizards or game design in general uses the word parasitic to sort of describe when you're adding some form of complexity to the game that isn't 100% necessary. And while whenever you add any new mechanic, that is parasitic, but with the Ravnica abilities in particular, not very many of them are ever reused on anything. Last week, card of the week, yesterday's card of the week had Retrace on it.
Yeah.
Retrace was originally in Lorwyn Shadowmoor era, and then we saw it again in Commander sets. They used it again.
Because Retrace is cool.
Yeah, they're never putting Forecast or Haunt on anything, or Radiance. Those are the ones that we said were bad in our OG Ravnica YouTube video, right?
And we were right, because they're terrible.
Yeah, and maybe they are terrible, but if you had enough of them to build a forecast deck where you can forecast 3 or 4 different cards per turn from your hand, maybe that would start to be good just because you have a redundancy of effects.
Yeah.
Right?
Imagine the alter you could do. If you used Grand Arbiter Augustin IV as your commander in that deck, you could alter it so he was sitting behind a weather desk, and then you could give the 5-day forecast during your upkeep.
That is so excellent.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, right? But that kind of thing isn't available. And with abilities like what's in, I'm just looking at one random card from Allegiance, Addendum. Sure, if you cast it during your main phase, you get an extra benefit.
They did that in Time Spiral with lots of stuff.
Yeah, I guess they did.
Yeah, they just didn't have a name for it.
Well, man, Time Spiral's paying dividends still. Right? Let's get into it. We'll talk about some more parasitic type things once we kind of hit some of those cards that I feel aren't really that powerful that just have this ability on them or whatever, right?
Okay, now we talked about, again, before the show, we decided what we're going to do is we're not going to talk about all of the big cards that everybody's already talking about, because you listening to the show, you've already probably heard a spoiler. You might have already listened to a preview. You know kind of what the good cards are. So we're going to focus on the ones that we think we're going to play, or the ones that should see play in Commander, be they super popular or not.
Yeah, or just things that are unique and interesting, right? We were talking before the show about Angel of Grace.
Duh.
You exile it and pay 6, and your life total becomes 10.
Exile it from your graveyard.
Wait, what?
Exile it from your graveyard.
So it has to die?
Yeah.
What in the actual?
Yeah, you play it. It's got flash flying. Comes into play. Saves your life because any damage that would reduce your life total to 1 or less reduces it to 1 instead. And then it's a 5/4 flyer for 5. Then when it dies, you can pay 6, and your life total goes up to 10.
Oh, I didn't read that last part.
Yeah, it's a cool card. It's very powerful. It'll have lots of applications, see lots of play, but I don't really care. Honestly, I don't care about this card at all.
Let's move on. I didn't know it had to be exiled from your graveyard. I thought you could block with it and then exile it or something. Whatever. Who cares?
Whatever.
Yeah, stupid card. Angelic Exaltation. That's going in every Rafik deck ever. Moving on.
Yeah, I found one that I want to make quick mention of because it ties into something we forgot to mention at the top of the show. Our giveaway for the Feline Ferocity deck.
Oh, yeah.
You can get entered to win that if you follow us, leave a comment, or request more on our Podomatic site as we gain to get to the #1 spot on the entire site. I think we're at 6 now, so we're on our way. Or if you interact with any of our 2019 YouTube videos rather, you can like, comment, share those around, and you'll get entered in to win that deck as well. And if you win it, you could, in theory, include a Prowling Caracal into it, because it is a cat that costs white 1 and is a 3/1, and is the very perfect example of why cat tribal doesn't really exist outside of the Feline Ferocity deck.
Yeah, don't put that in. You know what I do like? Very close to Prowling Caracal on the list here. Lumbering Battlement. So this is a 4/5 for 5 with Vig. When it enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-token creatures you control until it leaves the battlefield. Okay.
All right.
It gets +2/+2 for each card exiled this way. If you have a haste enabler, you just exile your whole board and make it huge. Or you cast it and then you play Wrath of God and then you bring back all your stuff. It's got kind of 2 uses there.
Neat.
And I think it's kind of cool. I wish that it had like a more relevant creature type than Beast, but in white or in white X, what creature type are you playing? Like, I don't think it matters.
Then it sounds like it would be a beast or it would be an elephant. It's not an elephant on the card. But
yeah, dang. You know what? I wish it was an elephant, because one day we're going to get an elephant commander. Maybe in the next Ravnica something.
Ooh, that'd be neat.
One day we're going to get a legendary elephant.
I like it.
Yeah, and then my elephant graveyards are going to shoot through the roof. Me and Dana Roach, we've got this. Shout out to Dana Roach on CMDR Central and EDH Recast. We're specking hard. He's got a whole bunch of copies. I got 1.
All right, so I think that this is one that lots of people are talking about right now. We were talking about it before we started the show. Smothering Tithe.
Ooh, yeah. So I'm not super high on this card. You are higher on this card than me, but it's we'll see what we think. White 3 enchantment. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player may pay 2. If the player does not, you create a colorless treasure artifact token that has tap, sack, get a mana of any color. So they're bringing back treasure.
I like that.
On 1 card.
Fine, I'm fine with it.
This is an example of them saying, here's a parasitic thing, here's a treasure token. Right after they did like gold tokens or whatever, right?
Yeah, but they got to take back gold tokens, because gold tokens are way better than treasure tokens.
Yeah, because you don't have to tap them or something, right?
Yeah, you can tap them to like use improvise or whatever that thing is, where you can tap artifacts to play stuff, and then you can sack them to play more stuff.
That's right. So Smothering Tithe, whenever an opponent draws a card, they pay 2. If they don't, you get a mana.
Yeah.
Okay. You say this is good. It costs 4.
I think that the cost is what keeps it from being insane. If this thing cost 1, it would be insane.
You compared it to Burgeoning, and I said, well, Burgeoning isn't that good. We talked about Burgeoning on yesterday's list. I don't think Burgeoning's that good, because if you don't have land in your hand, it doesn't do anything. Or if you draw it late, it still doesn't do anything. This, if you draw it later, like if you get it on turn 4 on curve, that is a little bit later. People might miss land drops after turn 4. They might.
But this has nothing to do with land. It's just drawing cards.
That's right.
You just don't. In white, I'm going to play this in my mono white deck. That's where this is going for me. I might put it in my Stacks Traxa list that I'm working on, because I'm a dirtbag, just because I want to be able to break that parity and have more resources and stuff. But if you'd play it on turn 4 in a mono white deck, you don't really need it. Unless you're going for Avacyn on turn 5, which you could get with this card.
Here's what I don't know yet. And despite having some knowledge of the Commander format, I don't know how often somebody pays 2 when they draw a card. Right? You go untap, upkeep, draw. How often do I go, I'm going to pay 2 so you don't get a mana?
Never.
I don't know if that's...
They will never do it unless you're playing against... Well, no. I was going to say unless
I think that you're going to get a mana more often than you're not going to get a mana, which is great.
Yeah.
That has to happen 4 times before you've broke even on the card. And that takes at least...
1 round of the table.
At least 1.25 rounds of the table.
Let's say somebody's playing...
If you're in a 4-player game.
Let's say somebody's playing blue, I like to draw cards. Let's say somebody's playing Arcanist the Omnipotent. Somebody plays a Brainstorm.
Yeah.
Howling Mind, Temple Bell.
Those are all things that I agree with you on. Do they refill their hand when you cast this so you can get your benefit immediately. They don't. They're not going to brainstorm. When do you see Ponder, Preordain, Brainstorm? You're going to see them super late game when someone's digging, or you're going to see them before this hits the table. You're not going to see Arcanus, if anybody's even playing that as a commander. They're not. Like, I don't know. I don't think that this card is as good as you say, and people get free mana on a white card and are super high on it. I'm not.
In mono white, I think maybe the luster is not really there, but in white X, because this is obviously an Azorius card based on the art and the flavor of it. So let's say you have blue, and I just have more blue mana to do stuff with, and it's just anytime you have more mana that's free to do stuff with, it's cool. I don't think this card's going to break the format.
You know what? I like having the opportunity to get blue up when, like, I tap out and I just know your mana host, so you're not going to pay 2.
Yeah.
But the same thing is, here's one layer deeper, is your mana host. Maybe you have a handful of 7 drops and you draw a card and can't cast anything in your hand, so you're just going to pay the 2 and I don't get anything from it, right? It's not free mana until after it's made you 4 mana back.
Yeah.
Right? Plus you're down a card, and what is a card worth? It depends on the deck. I get it. There's so many layers to this particular card. I think that we let time tell. Or we let CCO Nation let us know what they think.
Yeah, let us know in the comments on the YouTube or on the Podomatic.
Ooh, yeah. Get yourself entered to Feline Ferocity, somebody's face.
All right, let's find a new card to talk about.
Next one I like. Last white card I think that we're going to talk about because F-white.
Yeah, white's worst.
Unbreakable Formation. White, 2. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. So that's all of them.
That's cool.
That's cool. Neat. Addendum. So if you cast this on your main phase, put a +1/+1 counter on each of those creatures and they gain vigilance. So little tiny overrun with that lets you keep your blockers up. Cool. Or my stuff doesn't die to your sweeper on somebody else's turn. That's cool. It's kind of modal like that. Like if you need attackers and then blockers, cool. If you just don't want your stuff to die, also cool.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I think it's medium. It's okay. It's another one I probably won't play because it's the combat trick nature of it just kind of sucks.
Yeah, I think
there's a green card that does this better, I think, isn't there?
Yeah, what is it called? It gives you guys indestructible and
hexproof?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's just a...
What the hell is that card called now? Somebody's screaming at their computer screen.
Yeah, you got to scream louder, guys. We can't hear you in the past through your phone.
Yeah, Evan plays it. He's screaming too.
Yeah.
F you, Evan.
Blue cards.
Essence Capture, blue, counter target creature spell. Lots of times you want to do that, but wait, there's more. Put a +1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. Sure, let's kick it off. Let's kick off the +1 Super Bowl, like whatever, right?
And then you can adapt your guy. Yeah,
no. Well, we're not going to play very much adapt, I don't think. I think there's one adapt card that I'm considering playing in a deck. Moving on. Eyes Elsewhere. Blue, 2. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1.
It's an enchantment.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it's an enchantment. Sounds cool. Maybe you just keep it just for that, but maybe not. Because there's also blue, 5. Exchange control of Eyes Elsewhere and target non-land permanent. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery.
It's a weird one.
That's a weird one, hey?
It's a Z-Drew card.
Yeah, I guess it kind of is. You just take something. That is kind of like an early game clone that you just kind of get to see more of your deck, and then all of a sudden it's like 6. Ooh, I want that. You have to trade the thing you want for them scrying. But if they're not playing blue, you're not getting that thing back.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. And then I like Gateway Sneak for Edric, Spymaster of Trest. When it's a 1/3 for 3, when it enters a battlefield, whenever a gate enters a battlefield, it can't be blocked. But we don't care, because we're going to tap or bounce all your guys in Edric and then attack you. And when we do, when it deals damage, we draw a card.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's a 1/3 for 3. I wish it was like a 2/1 or a 1/2 for 2, but I don't know. They know more about it than I do, I guess. Next up, Persistent Petitioners.
They're really doing this. You can play any number of these in your deck thing, hey?
This is 2 in the last calendar year we've seen. Yeah.
It was only Relentless Rats for so long, and now they're just doing more of it.
Now there's 4, right? There's Petitioners, Rat Colony, Shadowborn Apostles, and Relentless Rats.
Yeah.
2 of them are rats. That's funny, hey? Regardless, 1/3 for blue 1, tap, and pay 1. Target player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. Sure. Tap 4 untapped advisors you control. Target player puts the top 12 cards of their library into their graveyard. And then finally, a deck can have any number of cards named Persistent Petitioners. I kind of like it.
It's a mill card, right?
It's a mill card, and you know what? It goes in your Bant decks or your Simic decks that just have every ability to untap creatures during your upkeep, right? Seedborn Muse and what's the
Murkfiend Liege?
Murkfiend Liege. Anything, maybe it goes in your Bant deck, like untap all creatures you control. They get +1/+1 or whatever, right?
Sure.
Like any combat trick that is supposed to just untap a creature or untap all creatures so you can block. Now it is untap my creatures, mill 12. It's kind of a cool deck.
It's kind of neat. It's going to be one of those things you're going to run into draft all the time. It'll be like a first one pick by that one guy who thinks
that guy that wants to go deep on drafting a mill deck.
They want to make sure that they get nothing out of the draft monetarily unless they win.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. Apostles and Relentless Rats and let's say foil rat colonies are all worth money.
Yeah.
Is this one going to be worth money now that there's like another option to do this thing? I don't know.
I think the foils probably. I'll bet you foils of this will be a few bucks.
Yeah, I suppose.
Because it's a common too. The other ones I think were at uncommon, right?
I think Rat Colony was a common.
Okay.
Yeah, but
And
the
that's
other
why
ones
one
were
of the foils are
uncommons.
worth,
Yeah. Okay. Terramander. Here's the adapt one that I'm going to play. This is our 1/1 flyer for blue, and it has adapt 7 and blue. But the adapt costs 1 less for each instant and sorcery in our graveyard straight into Edric Spymaster of Trest.
The hell with that. Because Spymaster of Trest, I hate that deck, and I hate you for playing it. Is that a giant bubble attached to its ass in the picture?
I think so. That like it floats, it inflates its bubble ass. Don't Google that.
Like, do you play it and it comes in as this little winged dude and it's like, look at me, I'm a 1/1, and then you make him adapt big, and then like his ass grows super huge, and now he's like, yeah, now I'm big and jacked and I fly around.
Yeah, maybe. I thought he flew regardless.
Well, he does.
Whether he's got bubble ass or not.
But flavor wise, it's a
good pickup. I like that.
Yeah.
Regardless, he's a 1/1 flyer for 1. He's going to turn into a 5/5 flyer for 95. It's like the Canadian exchange rate people.
I like Variety Circle or Verity Circle or whatever the hell that card is.
Verity Circle, yes.
Enchantment for blue 2. Whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes tapped, if it's not becoming tapped to attack somebody, you draw a card, and you can pay 5 to tap a creature.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That, yeah. I guess it doesn't shut off, but it makes it so activated ability .deck gives you cards.
If you're playing Experiment Kraj from last week and you're tap on tap Kraj to do all kinds of different stuff, draw.
Whenever a creature an opponent controls.
Yeah, that's why they're playing Experiment Kraj.
Oh, you're playing against it. Yeah. Okay.
But it's a cool card. I think that one is going to see, I'm not going to say a lot of EDH play, but I'll bet you if you're playing a control deck, you could probably sneak one of those in there without diluting the power of your deck, for sure.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Because every deck has activated abilities on creatures. Every deck.
You know what I think when I see cards like this is how badly do I want to pay 3 mana and then 5 mana to tap a creature without flying?
Yeah.
How badly do I want that? Because I have to just assume that the rest of the card isn't going to happen that much in a game. You know?
Sure. I mean, this is a card that I think you play based on who you're playing with. Like, in our play group, I don't know I'd play this, but I think if I was taking, like, a blue deck to, I'm going to go play with some people who are new, or I'm going to take it to an event and it's we're going to play some casual games, I'd throw one of these in there.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? How many abilities on creatures are, like, tap, sacrifice the creature? You're still going to get to draw a card off of that. People think, oh, they're just sacrificing their creature. Like, this is good maybe against, like, I don't know, something like Glenelender Archmage. Oh, no, she flies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, damn it. Never mind. Forget I said that.
She still taps and sacks.
But then you don't draw a card. Oh, no, you do draw a card
you do,
because you just can't tap her.
Yeah,
but you still draw a
tap
card.
her, but yeah, you still draw a card.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's cool.
I think it's a cool card. So that's the end of blue. I'm glad I found a blue card that I liked.
Yeah. You know what? First card in black that I really like, Bankrupt in Blood.
Is it because of the art?
Seb McKinnon art on this one, definitely awesome. He's got a very unique style that very much stands out as in contrast to what modern Magic art looks like.
Yeah, it looks kind of like old Magic art.
Yeah.
And this card is going to be a fabulous foil.
I like it because it's a sorcery for black 1. As an additional cost, you sack 2 creature, but then you draw 3 cards.
Excellent.
Yes. What am I saying? Lord of Tressorhorn wants that all day.
There you go. How about Gutter Bones?
Yeah, Gutter Bones is... I think it's bad.
It's bad, but it's another creature that black gets that is a 2/1 for 1 that you can just recycle it over and over again.
Yeah, you know what? It goes back to your hand is the first thing that I think of. Your opponent has to have had lost life this turn. So Gutter Bones enters the battlefield tapped. It's a 2/1 for 1. You can pay black 1, return it from your graveyard to your hand, activate this ability only during your turn and only if an opponent lost life this turn.
So if you go back in Magic history and look at something like Buttgasp or Bloodghast, you'll see what these cards are supposed to be like. And then if you look forward in Magic history, you're going to see stuff like Reassembling Skeletons, where it was smaller, and that, Blood-Soaked Champion, where you got to attack with dudes, and they're just putting more and more caveats on this damn ability.
Yeah, Nether Trader from Masks, and there was Krovikan Horror, I think. It needed to be in your graveyard with 2 creatures above it. I think there's a combo deck with Krovikan Horror, actually.
I think there is too.
Yeah,
I'm glad that nobody plays it, though, because that's hard to keep track of. Because once you
graveyard order matters, cards don't get printed anymore.
Yeah, they're hard to keep track of, right? Like,
yeah.
There's a lot of honor system if you're looking at somebody's graveyard. If you're a dirtbag and you just like kind of put that creature kind of back in, oh, sorry, man, I didn't realize. It's a needless level of complexity, but it's them trying again.
Very much
to
so.
do that on a black creature.
Do we want to talk about Priest of Forgotten Gods? Dude, okay. First of all, this is a creature, not like Vampiric Rite.
Okay.
That's an enchantment. So this automatically gets some ability to come back out of your graveyard in black if somebody kills it. Because it actually is good. So you tap, sacrifice 2 other creatures, any number of target players, each loses 2 life, and sack a creature. Then you add 2 black to your mana pool and draw a card.
It's pretty good.
That's lots of stuff.
It does lots of things for just tapping it. And sacking 2 guys, I guess.
So we got reanimation shenanigans. We're playing black. They might be tokens. You can play it wherever you can get lots of small black dudes. You just draw a card. You get mana back. They sack a creature. There's lots of going on there.
It'd be real good in like Endrick's Tsar Master Breeder.
Yeah.
Where like every time you play a black creature, you just get some shitty thralls. You could sack your shitty thralls. Everybody sacks some stuff, draw some cards, get some mana. It's pretty cool.
I like it. I like it lots. Okay, do we need to talk about Spectacle? That's the Rakdos ability. If somebody took damage, you can play something for its Spectacle cost. It's usually like cheaper, right?
It's cheaper or more expensive based on whether or not there's a benefit to playing it after Spectacle.
There's a couple good Spectacle cards in red, I think, and in multicolored, but I don't know. I don't know if it's good.
Yeah, it's Spectacle. The Buy a Box promo this year, should we talk about that one?
Hold on, there's one more that I want to talk about.
Okay.
In black.
Okay.
There's 2 more I want to talk about in black. One's good, one I hate. The first one, Vindictive Vampire. 2/3 for 4. Whenever another creature you control dies, Vindictive Vampire deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you gain 1 life.
Another aristocrat.
Yeah, so you've got Falconwrath Noble, you've got Blood Artist, Zulaport Cutthroat. Did I say Falconwrath Noble?
Yep.
Okay, I meant Disciple of the Vault. He's in there too, for artifacts only though. So this is another one. At 4 mana, I wish it was 3 and it was like a 2/2. It's at 4. But there it is. There it is.
So like him. Who's the one that you don't like?
The one I don't like is Haunt of Hightower.
That's the box.
This card drives me to drink because it's a vampire. So we got our first legendary creature, Spectre, in Dominaria, but had nothing to do with Spectre Tribal. Sure, it's your Spectre Tribal commander, but it had nothing to do with it.
It didn't have Spectre, which is deal combat damage to a player. That player discards a card.
This one does. So black 4, flying, lifelink, 3/3. Whenever Haunt of Hightower attacks defending player, discards a card. Whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, put a +1/+1 counter on him. And he's a vampire. He should be a Spectre.
100%.
100% we are in agreement.
Yes. There's nothing you just said could I agree anymore with, because I agree all the way.
God damn. Moving on to red.
Now we're talking.
Oh, baby. Amplifier. Cool name.
Yes, that's an excellent name.
Going to be a cool foil. I like this card in a deck. I'll tell you about the deck after I read the card. Red, 2, 1, 1. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Until your next turn, Amplifier has base power twice the revealed card's power and base toughness twice that card's toughness. Put the revealed cards on the bottom of your library in a random order.
Ooh.
Amplifier and one other creature in your entire deck. And you pick World Spine Worm.
Sure.
So now it's a 30-30. That's
Excellent.
your whole deck. That's your whole deck. This is like sort of like Goblin Charbelcher EDH deck.
Yeah, kind of.
I like it, hey?
It's pretty cool. You 2-pump chump 3 guys with a 30-30. That's not the worst.
Yeah, nobody's going to expect it the first time. Right?
Yeah.
And you're just going to destroy somebody. That's awesome.
That's pretty okay.
Cool. Moving on. Now we've still got spectacle cards in red, but we've also got riot cards in Gruul. And I know that you like riot.
I love riot. Riot is my favorite keyword probably in Ravnica that isn't dredge. I like riot a lot.
So a creature with riot has this creature enters the battlefield with your choice of a +1/+1 counter or haste.
And it's always haste because I love haste. And riot gives me haste. I love haste.
I suppose.
Yes. We'll find riot cards probably later on, ones that we actually want to talk about. But we just saw the word riot. I got very excited, so Ryan decided to mention it. First red card. Can we talk? It's my favorite card in the set.
Second red card.
It's not my favorite card in the set, but it's one that I am 100% going to play. I will buy a foil of it, and you will probably see it if you see me at GP Calgary, and it is Mirror March.
Oh, yeah, that's the coin flippy one.
Yeah, I super love this card. It's an enchantment for 6, which is a lot, but whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you flip a coin. If you win, you put a token into play that's a copy of the creature, and you keep doing that until you lose a flip. And it is going directly into Norrin the Wary because it could just win me the game just for playing it.
How so?
Because I have Norrin the Wary and a Perforos in play. I play Mirror March. Norrin the Wary goes away. I end my turn. Norrin the Wary comes back. I flip the coin. Let's say I get really lucky and I win 8 times. I get 8 more Norrin the Waries. Everybody take 18. Then on the end of your turn, I'm going to do that again. And at the end of your turn, I'm going to do it again. And at the end of your turn, I'm going to do it again. Then I am going to take another turn, and I am going to do it again. That card is super good in one deck that I happen to play, and it happens to be one of my favorites.
I like the card in the deck.
I think in any other situation, I think that it's super medium, and just the fact that it costs 6 and then might not give you anything ever is not very good. But I think when you're...
Just stop right there. So you pay 6 and it does nothing.
Possibly.
Why would you play that?
Because it
does nothing.
The
floor of the card is the fucking basement of the earth.
Yes.
It's terrible.
But the
ceiling.
One tick up, the ceiling is I win the game immediately.
Immediately. 1 million to 1 odds.
Yeah. But the... one step off the floor, if I win one flip in Norrin, if you win one flip with Norrin, you've done 100% more effect than you would have had with just Norrin coming back. It doubles the amount of damage that you do with a Perforos or an Impact Tremors.
You're putting a lot of emphasis on 100% more and double the effect. Yeah. When doubling the effect is instead of taking 2, take 4. That's not that good still for 6 mana.
Every turn, not my turn. Every turn.
Take 4 damage every turn is good. Now, Norrin triggers when somebody casts a spell or attacks.
Yes.
And that is probably going to happen that's going to happen 95% of turns. Somebody's either going to attack or somebody's going to cast something.
Yeah, very rarely do people go land go.
Land go or land a bunch of activated abilities and hold up mana for whatever, right?
Yeah,
that's not very often does that happen.
Yeah, the floor of this card is absolutely the abyss of hell. But
it's the frozen part of hell.
Yeah, we're Judas is shoved up Satan's asshole in Dante's Inferno. I know that he's not actually in Satan's asshole, he's in his mouth, but I'm sure Satan has bad breath. So
it's the same thing.
You might as well just be in his asshole. And the point is, each step above the basement in this card is really good in Norn. So I'm really excited for that one.
I'm actually happy that you got that jazzed up about anything new Magic has done in the last whatever. I like Electrodominance. That's the instant for red X. Deals X damage to any target, and then you can cast a card with converted mana cost X from your hand without paying its mana cost.
I dig that too.
I dig that because anything with suspend, you just cast for free at X equals 0. Cool. That's like red, instant speed, cast something with suspend. Like if you cast your Ancestral
Visions,
you just go red, discard Ancestral Visions, draw 3 cards. Instant speed.
That's pretty good.
That's cool. Or if you do want to pay like 5 for it, you go red, 3, deal 3 damage to something. Kill a creature, kill a planeswalker maybe, right?
Sure.
Cast a 3-drop.
Nothing wrong with that.
So you kill a creature or planeswalker, cast your 3-drop at instant speed.
Excellent.
Yeah, at instant speed is excellent, right? Next red card.
We
got lots to say about red, hey?
Of course we do.
Light up the stage. This is a spectacle card, so you may cast this card spell for its spectacle cost rather than its mana cost if an opponent lost life this turn. What does it do, you ask? Exile the top 2 cards of your library. Until end of turn, you may play those spells.
That's just play so you can get
Wait a
land
second,
with it, right?
I read that wrong. Until your next turn.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah.
You can play those cards. So if one is a land, you can play it because it says play, not cast. And this card costs red 2, or for spectacle, it costs just red. Ooh.
So you could get that burn or removal spell coming, that burn or removal instant off of it, and you could just save it until your next turn, and end of turn I'll use my spell because it's going to go away anyway, or you could use it when they play a guy. You could rattlesnake him with it.
Yeah. It's just sitting there, and everybody sees it, and then end of turn you're like, oh yeah, terminate your guy.
Yeah, lots of rattlesnakey utility with this one. I dig it.
Yeah, I like that one for sure. Okay, what else we got in red? Anything else that you wanted to touch on? I like Skewer the Critic. It's the 3-drop, but it's got Spectacle for 1, and then it's Lightning Bolt. Well, sorcery speed.
Yeah, with Lava Spike, I think is what that would
be. What did I say before the show? They have 2 hats. They have something pointy and something hot.
Yeah.
And they just draw like names out of a hat. Here's the pointy thing. Here's the sharp thing. There's your card. There you go.
It costs red and does 3. I think that's it for mono red stuff for me in particular.
Sure.
Which kind of hurts me, but we'll move on to green. Maybe there's better stuff.
Look at that second card there on your screen.
Biogenic Ooze.
I knew you'd like this one.
I am super pumped for Biogenic Ooze. The 2/2 for 2 green and 3. When it enters the battlefield, you get a 2/2 green ooze. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each ooze you control, and for green 1, create a 2/2 ooze creature token.
Dank.
He is excellent.
You're paying a premium on those 4 mana 2/2 oozes, but you can get lots of them.
And they become 3/3 oozes, and they become 4/4 oozes. And I like cards like this specifically as far as design goes and art goes, because it's going to be a great foil, because they're probably not going to print a whole lot of ooze lords. So they print a really cool one that kind of makes up for the fact that your ooze deck only has 1 lord in it. Like, you're not going to have like goblins or merfolk where there's 25 lords, right? You just got this guy, but he's going to make your team bigger every turn, and that's pretty cool.
Super sweet. This is the kind of thing that you have to know how it works, though, right? Put a +1/+1 counter on each ooze you control. Well, this one is going to have 1, and then you're going to make another one.
Yep.
And then next turn, those 2 are going to get 1, then you're going to make another one, right? So you have to always have a whole bunch of different amount of dice.
You got to be that guy who has 1,000,000 ooze token cards.
Yeah. What about, hey, do you like End Raise Forerunners? I don't know why they're called that, but anyways, it's a boar, 7/7 boar for green 5.
Holy shit.
So we like green 5, right?
It costs 8. It probably wins us the game.
Yeah, okay, so it's got Vig, Trample, Haste.
Like all those things.
When it attacks, when it enters the battlefield, other creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain Vigilance and Trample until end of turn. So this one has Haste and costs 8, just like Craterhoof. And it's a 7/7, so it's a little bit bigger than Craterhoof, technically. Enters the battlefield like Craterhoof, it buffs all your dudes and gives them Trample.
It's okay.
This one isn't $20.
it'd be a good. I think it would be a good substitute if you don't want to go out and drop big money on a Crater Hoof. I think that this is a fine proxy.
Yeah.
Also,
A
I think
suitable analog. That's what we'll call it.
I think that I don't know much about the flavor, so CCO Nation, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that the end raise is the Gruul's ultimate goal in that they want to burn the city of Ravnica to the ground and destroy the city. And they want nature to reclaim it. I think they call that the end raise. I think. I'm not 100% sure. And if that's not what's going on, it's what should be going on. Copyright.
F all the other guilds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I got Gruul, I am happy.
I like this one. Guardian Project. It's an enchantment for green 3. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it doesn't have the same name as another creature you control or a creature card in your graveyard, draw a card.
So in EDH, it says play a creature, draw a card.
Unless you're playing those 4 cards that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, unless you're
those
being
ones
that
that
guy.
you can play any number, right?
But in any other green deck, it says play a creature, draw a card.
Yeah, I like that. Now, that one would be... Maybe that's the one that goes in Animar from this set, but they just gave us Beast Whisperer, the green 2 elf that does the same thing.
Right.
Except he's just costs green in Animar. So it's like, I'll play this effect at 2 mana instead of 4. I don't know. I'm starting to give up hope that Animar is going to get anything good in this set.
It's almost like Animar was really, really good, and then they
This is the set he would have been better in.
dial it back a little bit, maybe. I don't know. What do you think of Regenesis?
It's an instant, which is great. It only gets permanence, though, so you can't, get your counter spell or your removal spell back at instant speed.
Yeah, or if you're playing mono green, your Gen Wave or whatever.
Yeah. We have this almost exact same card at Sorcery that gets you anything in restock for 5 mana.
Yeah. That one removes itself from the game.
This one doesn't. Look at that.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think it's cool. I think at end of turn, you get back your thing that you wanted.
Like, you could hypothetically just be a huge piece of shit with this one and, like, Regenesis your, I don't know, your Eternal Witness and something else, and then, like, E-Wit back the card that you actually wanted. You could probably loop this somehow.
Tons and tons of loops with this for sure. Yeah, you get back your Ewit and your Archaeomancer or Mnemonic Wall, and you just loop everything all the time.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a thing. What about Rampage of the Clans? Instant for green 3. Destroy all artifacts and enchantments. For each permanent destroyed this way, its controller gets a 3/3 green centaur creature.
Nah, I don't like it. I don't like it because they already have this card for the same cost, and they don't get dudes. I don't want them to have dudes.
I suppose. What if it's destroying some of your own stuff?
Then I guess I get some dudes too. But
What if you make everything an artifact and you just kill everything?
then they get all the dudes.
I suppose.
Yeah, I'm totally medium on that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, we're at the end of green, and I don't have any Animar specials. One of them was super close. A couple of them were super close, but you know, F that. F everything.
Well, we're into the multicolored section right now. Now, unfortunately, they haven't broken it down for us by guild, so we can just read all of the Gruul cards and say F everything else. But I guess maybe they did that on purpose so that we could talk about some other things.
Yeah, you know what? I like anything that's modal. I'm looking at Applied Biomancy. Super small effect, but it's an instant. Target creature gets +1 till end of turn, or return target creature to its owner's hand, and it costs green-blue.
That's not terrible. I dig it.
Yeah. If return target creature to its owner's hand, if you're going to bounce a creature with Boomerang, or if you're playing Unsummon, pretty low to the ground, pretty small effect, but in decks that want it, they want it. And this gives you another option to do an additional damage or kill something on block. I think it's cool.
Not bad. I like Basilica Bell Haunt. It's a 3/4 for white, white, black, black.
That's a cool picture, hey?
When it enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card, and you gain 3 life.
Yeah, I like that. And yeah, I like. You know what I like? All the random, uncommon, like just kind of okay cards. I kind of like them all.
Okay, now I want to talk about this one specifically because I actually think this one has unseated Pyrohemia as my favorite modern Magic card art
Oh yeah,
of all time.
Great card too.
In Bedevil. I love this art. I love it. It's got the devils with the pointy pitchforks and the lady. She's like, oh my gosh. And it's kind of got that unique look to it. I like everything about this.
Same guy, Seb McKinnon.
I like
Follow
everything
him on Twitter,
about it.
dude. You'll see all kinds of art like this.
Neat.
Yes, search him up. Expand your horizons. Bedevil, black, red, instant, destroy target artifact, creature, or Planeswalker.
Holy shit, it is a good card, too. I just keep seeing the picture and be like, yeah, I'm going to get a bunch of those.
Yep, that's a good card.
Oh,
You're going
I
to
like
want a
that
bunch of them.
Yeah, I do. I kind of do now, too, yeah.
Here's what I want. I want Captive Audience.
You know, I knew you were going to like this card, and I was kind of dreading getting to it, because I like it in theory.
Yes.
It's a great card, but I hate it in practice, because I hate cards like this.
I hate its mana cost. I hate that it doesn't win you the game at that cost. I hate that you have to wait. I hate that there's but I love it. Okay, so Captive Audience enters the battlefield under the control of an opponent of your choice. So I cast it, you get it. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Your life total becomes 4. This is you choosing because you get it.
Yep.
Your life total becomes 4. Like, what? 4? Sure. I just rolled a 6-sided dice, and I'm WotC. I roll a dice. What is it? It's 4. Okay, it's fucking 4. Okay. Discard your hand.
Ooh.
Sweet. Probably only gets 1 or 2 cards at 7 mana to cast this card, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Each opponent creates 5 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. So they make 10 power worth of dudes.
Yep.
On 2/2 bodies.
Clearly a casual commander card.
Very much so.
Now, here's the one situation I can consider Brando, would play this card is when somebody is playing Aloru, and they're doing that stupid crap where they give themselves a bunch of extra upkeeps.
Oh, I so want to do that.
It's like, oh, you want some extra upkeeps, bruv? Here you go. And then they have to discard their hand, and they have to give you a bunch of dudes, and their life total becomes 4.
F you, Alex.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there at like 80. Hey, I guess I'll just discard my hand, and then you guys all get 10 power worth of dudes. And then you're like, thanks. Everybody just goes, untap, upkeep, draw, go, 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 go. Alex goes, I guess I'll go to 4.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, eat all my zombies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, see, it's fun. It's a fun card.
But in any other situation other than that, I don't like cards that just make other people just not lose the game, but it's like, oh, it costs too much, it takes too long, and it's like, god damn it. We did pass over this one. I want to talk about it super fast. Biomancer's Familiar. This is a card I think people should be picking up.
You really think that?
I think so. It's easier to remove than a Training Ground. It's harder to play than a Training Ground, but it is Training Ground, and that card is like $20.
Yeah, except this one's easier to remove and harder to cast.
Yes. But it still goes in Sliver Queen, and that's what I care about.
Yeah, activating or making of activated abilities cost 2 less to activate. Super great. It's on a 2/2 mutant for green-blue. Yep. And then it has, the next time you adapt something, you can adapt it as though it doesn't have a counter on it.
Yeah, don't care, because nobody's going to adapt anything ever, so there you go.
You want to talk about some Planeswalkers? We got 2 of them right in front of us.
You
got Domri Chaos Bringer, green, red, 2, 5 loyalty, +1. Add red or green to your mana pool. Sure. If that mana is spent to cast a creature, it gains Riot.
Now you know how much I like Riot.
Yeah.
And you know how much I like red-green.
Yeah.
So I'll be buying one of these, 100%.
Okay.
I also like that there's pigs on it. I think that's fun.
Yes.
I like the art. I like what the card does. I think he's really cool. He'll go very nicely in my set of I have every red Planeswalker. Or every red and green Planeswalker, I should say.
He also has a -3. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You can reveal up to 2 creature cards from among them and put them into your hand. The rest go onto the bottom. And his -8 is you get an emblem at the beginning of your end step. Create a 4/4 red boar.
Irrelevant. That ability is irrelevant. But this card
it's a beast.
This card would have been badass in our Merry Fistmas deck, hey?
Yeah. You know what, this Domri here on the art looks exactly like our buddy F.U. Evan. If he shaved his head and made it into a mohawk. He even has like the same kind of like posture that I feel Evan would have when he's like holding something up.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Evan.
He kind of does, yeah.
Okay, next, 6-finger Dovin, Grand Arbiter.
He has 6 fingers?
Apparently he has 6 fingers, sure.
Oh, weird. Okay.
3 loyalty, blue, white, 1. His +1 till end of turn. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a loyalty counter on Dovin. Sure, because I'm attacking so much in my Azorius deck.
Yeah.
His -1, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. Then you gain a life.
Sure.
And I guess that's what you attack with, right? His -7, oof, that's lots, eh?
Yeah.
look at the top 10 cards of your library, put 3 of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. I hate these stupid planeswalkers that just let you look at a certain number. Like I have to build responsibly to make sure that they hit. I don't like that design.
I agree with that.
It's like a collected company thing, and it's good, and it lets you see more cards, and that's what people like because it makes them feel smart, but I just don't like it.
I think that this guy falls prey to it's a planeswalker that costs 3, so he can't be that good.
Or he's a planeswalker that costs 3. I have to play him because he only costs 3. And he protects himself. Oh my god, we put him to 2 and we get a 1/1 blocker.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think he's corner case. I think he'll be in a couple of decks, but I honestly don't think he's that good.
You know what is going to go in a couple of decks? And by a couple, I mean every goddamn Brago King Eternal deck ever is Dovin's Acuity.
Oh, shit, yeah.
When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and draw a card, and it's an enchantment, so you can blink it with Brago. Of course you can. And whenever you cast an instant spell during your main phase, you can return it to your hand.
And you probably don't do that because you're just blinking it for free.
Yeah, so it doesn't encourage Brago players to not play their instants on somebody else's turn because they just fucking blink it. God, I hate that card. I hope every copy of it burns. You know what I do like, though?
What's that?
Ethereal Absolution. Black, white, 4. Enchantment. Creatures I control get +1/+1. Creatures you control get -1/-1. And then I can pay 4 and exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. If it was a creature, I create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. And those spirit tokens look awesome.
Neat. I haven't seen them yet.
They're scary looking.
Cool.
You ever seen the Dementors on the Harry Potter movies?
Yeah.
That's what they look like.
Oh, neat.
Ooh, yeah, super scary.
I was like, it has our black-white planeswalker and Teysa on the art. We're not talking so much about art this time, hey? Like, the art just isn't as good, I think.
Maybe.
I think maybe Ultimate Masters had more stuff that appealed to our aesthetic sensibilities.
Yeah, maybe we were just excited to see new art on old cards that we liked, right?
Yeah, that was good.
Get this. I like Frilled Mystic.
Frilled Mystic.
Green, blue, 3/2, flash. Elf, lizard, wizard.
I like saying that.
Yes, and when it enters the battlefield, you may counter target spell.
Ooh.
It's like better Mystic Snake. I don't know, is it better? Costs 1 more colored pip. It's better because it's an elf and a wizard. It's better.
Yeah.
Speaking of art, you just mentioned it. You know what I like? I like Get the Point. Destroy target creature, scry 1. It's black-red 3.
Your buddy's tied to one of those wheels that they throw knives at. He's like, what?
And one actually got him. They're like, oh, I'm sorry, shit, guy. I hope you got insurance. I like Geyer. Is that the way we say Geyer Engineer?
Yeah.
Green-blue 1 for a 1/1. He taps to add green-blue.
It's fine.
Sure, it's fine, right?
It's fine. It's a dork. It's fine. Whatever.
How many things do we play that cost 3 mana that untap target land? I know that this can't untap your Gaia's Cradle. I get it. But I don't know. This probably goes where Arixmethes is now in my Edric deck. Just because I like having a guy that gives me 2 mana.
And you want to cut the guy that initially inspired you to build that deck.
No. I like Growth Spiral, instant speed, play an extra land, draw a card.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's fine. I like it. I like Hydroid Crisis, green-blue X.
The Jellyfish Hydra Beast?
Jellyfish Hydra Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel like Experiment Kraj from this week. That's what he would have been if he was now printed. Like, he'd just have 900 creature types.
Yeah, just a bunch of random things that they think about.
Yeah. Whenever you cast this spell, you gain half X life and draw half X cards rounded down. Flying Trample comes into the battlefield with X+1s on him.
You'll notice that he has one of those big ass floaty sacks, too. Simic things in this set don't fly with wings. They fly with inflated ass sacks.
Yeah, like, do they just fart helium?
They must.
I guess that's why they call it magic.
They turned a whole guild in Ravnica into a fart joke.
Wow.
How do you like that? They're
got there.
beating us at our own game.
Okay, what about Judith, Scourge of the Scourge Diva?
Everybody's pretty hard for this card, hey?
Well, everybody's super hard for her because they're all like, oh my god, look at her, she's wearing leather and latex, and I can't wait to see all the hot cosplayers do her at conventions. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why everybody's hard for her. I think she's good.
I think she's fine.
Whenever non-token creature you control dies, she deals 1 damage to any target. So that's kind of like Goblin Bombardment.
Sure.
Sure. You can't sack to her, but she also has other creatures you control get +1/+1.
And it's also non-token creatures, so it's like your good stuff gotta die.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing, right?
It's whatever. I don't know.
She's a 2/2 for 3, which, I mean, cool. She comes down, like, relatively early, and you can start beating in. Like, that's fine.
She's okay.
Yeah.
We would be remiss to not talk about Kaya's Wrath. White, white, black, black. Destroy all creatures. You gain life equal to the number of creatures you control that were destroyed this way.
Yeah, I love it.
It's like Wrath of God with an upside for just you. Yeah.
Hard to cast. Like, you're not casting this one on turn 3 to get somebody's commander off a Soul Ring. Like, this is full stop turn 4, right?
Probably.
But super good.
It's not bad at all.
I like Lavinia Azorius Renegade. She just like hard locks somebody out with Knowledge Pool, so she's just cheaper than Teferi Mage of Zhalfir. Cool. And she adds white. Great job, Wizards, because that deck needed any goddamn help.
Yeah, it needs more stuff. Thanks, guys. I like the new art on Mortify.
Yeah, and there was a promo art too, right?
Yes, sir. I think it's cool. I like it.
Do you like Macabre? Mockery?
Macabre Mockery?
It's like a threaten effect, but you get it from an opponent's graveyard.
It's medium. It's fine.
I think it's cool.
I think it's a cool card, but I don't know if I'd play it. I don't know if lots of people are going to play it. If you're planning on playing it, let us know in the comments.
Very much so. How about I'm planning to play Nikya of the Old Ways. It's a 5/5 for 5. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 of any type that land produced. It's the mana doubler. You play it with the rest of your mana doublers in red and green. There's like 10 of them, FYI. And you can't cast non-creature spells. Bazaar Trader. Give it to the control player. Beat the shit out of them. End of turn. Get it back with Homeward Path.
Yeah.
Super sweet.
But I think outside of that, I don't know if I'm going to play this guy. You know, everybody knows I like to play permanent things. I like to play creatures. I like to go big. I like to beat the shit out of things. But I like my enchantments and my artifacts too.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I can't play this guy and then tap 2 land and decimate.
Yeah, this is creature.deck, right?
Yep, you gotta... Sure. And I think if I'm going to play creature.deck, I think I might just play, what's his name? The Unbound, or when somebody plays a non-creature thing, it 6s them.
Yeah, they definitely go in each other's decks.
Yeah.
And you know what I do like in creature.deck is you can play Primal Surge as a backup win condition for Nikya. If some reason you don't have double mana.
Well, you could use your double mana, then sack him to a Ashnod's Altar that you played before you played him to power yourself into Primal Surge, and then Primal Surge your whole deck and win.
Super cool. Yep.
Yeah.
I think my Nikya give him away with Bazaar Trader was a Dean Goody special at Grubfellow on Twitter.
Have we said F.U. Dean Goody in a while?
F.U. Dean Goody.
There it is.
How about Prime Speaker Vanifar?
Lots of people hard on this. I'm going to tell you a true story. This is a true 100% story. I have not read this card because there's too many words on it.
Okay, I'll read you some certain words that are on this card.
Okay.
Blue-green 2, Legendary Creature, 2/4, Elf, Ooze, Wizard.
So it goes with our Ooze Lord from earlier.
Do you like this card yet?
So far, it's pretty cool.
Okay. Tap. Sack another creature. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the sacrifice creature's converted mana cost. So it's like...
So she's shitty Birthing Pod.
It's like Birthing Pod on your commander. Let's call that shitty. Okay. Let's keep reading. You put it onto the battlefield. Then shuffle. You can only activate it anytime you cast a sorcery.
So shitty Birthing Pod.
Yeah, unless you have CCO Staple Intruder Alarm. Then you get your whole deck.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
And you play with oozes. None of those X oozes, though, because they'll just die.
Yeah. That is pretty cool.
She's a cool card, for sure. She's cool.
I dig her lots, yeah.
She's got Prime Speaker Zagana's Trident as well. She probably beat her up in the playground and took it.
She's an ooze. I think that one-on-one in real life, a gelatinous cube would beat your average merfolk.
Probably, unless the ooze is water soluble.
Probably isn't, though. And if it is, maybe it's not all the way water soluble, so it takes a while, so it just turns into a cloud of ooze under the water, makes it even harder to escape.
Like oil spill.
Yeah, like on Tales from the Dark Side, where this oil slick comes up and it just eats these people on a raft.
That sounds like Pirates of Darkwater, the cartoon from Hanna-Barbera in the 90s.
Did you watch that video I sent you that's the full history of Pirates of Darkwater on YouTube?
You didn't send me that video. I would have watched it immediately.
Maybe I didn't. I suck at sharing YouTube videos, I just found out.
Did you send it to Big Ben? Maybe. He likes it too.
No, I thought I sent it
F
to
you.
you.
I will watch that today.
Okay. All right, good.
What else we got? Rhythm of the Wild. I know you like this one.
We talked about Mirror March. It's the card that I'm the most excited about to put into one of my favoriteest decks. Rhythm of the Wild, I actually think, is my favorite card in the set.
Okay, let me give it a read here.
Okay.
Green, red, 1, enchantment. Creature spells you control can't be countered.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Non-token creatures you control have Riot. They enter the battlefield with your choice of +1/+1 counter or haste.
Now, if this card didn't say non-token creatures on it, I would probably have an erection right now. Because it
Gross.
was going to go into Omnath, and oh baby,
Yeah.
would
that was
Omnath
good.
wreck house with a Rhythm of the Wild. As it stands, it's just a effing cool card, and it keeps your big, what is it, Timmy? Is Timmy
Timmy's the one.
It keeps your big Timmys just coming and hitting the table, and I like that. It can give them haste. It can give them just bigger. It's always haste, unless they already have haste, by the way. And it just makes your deck cool. I really, really like this card. I like the art on it. I like that Domri's there with all of his pigs, and they're running. I'm a huge fan of this card. I'm really excited
all
to
his
own
pigs, and he's just going to trample you and eat you like on Hannibal.
them. Who was it on Twitter that made the joke, like, that'll do, pig, or they call me Mr. Pig?
Yeah, I know Smitty said that. That's what I thought of.
Like, I would definitely buy one of these and get you to draw Timon and Pumbaa on it. I would definitely do that. I think that's a thing I'm going to do.
I'm down.
So be prepared for that altar to come across your desk.
Be prepared for, I'm just going to read the name and the creature type. Sharkdo crab. Fish, octopus, crab.
That's all we need to know. Also, let's talk cool art in Savage Smash. That's me headbutting everybody that plays mono blue every time I ever see them. That's what I picture. I just want to get longer hair on that guy and then paint like Smitty's face on that other guy's face.
No, Jesse's.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep, another one coming across my desk. Simic Ascendancy is the kind of card that I like. It's an enchantment for green-blue. You play green-blue 1, put a counter on a creature you control. Whenever a +1 counter is put onto a creature you control, you can put a growth counter on Simic Ascendancy. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if it has 20 or more counters, you win the game.
That's the thing.
Alt win cons are good. I hate that it's at the beginning of your upkeep, but you can instant speed get more counters on it. But still telegraph that I'm going to put these. I've got 6 mana. I can put 2 counters and win. Like, I don't know.
Also, I mean, I guess this one too, if you played it in our deck from last week, like, there you go. Remove it or I effing win, period.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. What do you think of Sunder Shaman?
I was just going to say Sunder Shaman, red, green, 5/5.
Yeah.
What? Can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. So he's got like opposite menace.
He's so good.
There's no name for that?
Nope.
I guess not. Okay. Whenever Sunder Shaman deals combat damage to a player, destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls.
It's a Trigon Predator.
I like Trigon Predator better. Because he flies. But this does it.
This is good, yeah.
This does it because you can't like double or triple block it with your 2/2 zombies to kill it.
It's going to come, it's that relentlessness. And you got to like that. Even a Trigon Predator, you can just chump block that thing forever. Whereas this one, like, you got to throw something fairly big in the way to stop it from coming at you every turn.
Theater of Horrors. This has got our rock hard. What's her name? Judith on it.
Oh yeah.
3 mana at the beginning of your upkeep. Exile the top card of your library. During your turn, if an opponent lost life this turn, you may play cards exiled with Theater of Horrors, and you can go red 3 to deal 1 damage to an opponent or planeswalker.
It's cool. I like it.
Infinite mana sink. Pseudo card advantage.
Do we want to talk about Teysa Karlov? I think she's good, but I think she's lazy. I think we talked about this before.
Triggered ability to trigger. It triggers an additional time when something dies.
Yeah.
I like creatures you control have Vig and lifelink.
Creature tokens you control have Vig and lifelink.
Creature tokens. I am soft.
I feel like this was made because they realized that the Orzhov ability this set is pretty bad. So they just printed something that's good to make the ability a little bit better.
Yeah, you still don't play this in your... What's the Orzhov ability this time called? Afterlife or something?
Yeah.
When it dies, you get a certain number of 1/1 spirit tokens with flying.
Yeah, you get like double that number, then they have vigilance.
You don't just jam like the 12 or whatever afterlife cards that exist in your Teysa Karlov deck. You build a die trigger deck. Right?
Yeah,
That's what you do.
Yeah, it's it's so on the nose that it bugs me. I don't like cards like this where it's just so on the nose.
Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking about Lord of Tressorhorn, and he has probably 20 when it dies triggers in his deck because it's a sacrifice type deck. If I added white, I'd get a few more. Cool. That's what Teysa Karlov brings to the table. I don't know.
It's whatever.
Yeah. So when my Doomed Traveler dies, I get 2/1/1s. That's just the same as Afterlife. When my Driver of the Dead dies, I get 2/1/1s back into my hand instead of 1. When my Blister Grub dies, you guys take 4 instead of 2. I don't know.
Yeah, it's whatever. I don't know. I just wanted to mention it because it's whatever.
You know what pumps my nads is all the lockets.
The lockets are cool.
Yeah, lockets are cool. I like Glass of the Guild Pack, 2-drop artifact, multicolored creature you control, get +1/+1.
Both of those Guild Pack things are cool, hey?
Yeah, the other one is you choose 2 colors and spells of the color.
No,
that's
from Commander.
I was talking about like a long time ago card.
Tome of the Guild Pack, an artifact for 5. You can tap to add a mana of any color to your pool, and whenever you cast a multicolored spell, you draw a card.
Yeah, dang, I wish it wasn't 5, right? I wish it was 4. Whatever, it's 5.
You want it to be 4 so that you can go land, Sol Ring, something, go, and then...
Yeah, I want it on turn 2, I guess.
Yeah. Alas.
I love the art on Rakdos Locket. With the little flecks of like sparks and stuff. I think it's cool.
That's going to be a neat foil.
Yeah.
It's going to be a cool-ass foil.
And that's kind of it. Now did we get some new gates? We got a new gate here. Gateway Plaza. Was that in Guilds of Ravnica too?
I don't know.
When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice unless you pay 1. Oh, it's
Rupture Spire.
And Transguild Promenade, but it's a gate.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Whatever.
It goes in your gate deck, I guess, if you have one. And then we've got Plaza of Harmony. Enters the battlefield. If you control 2 or more gates, gain 3 life. And you can tap it for a colorless or add a mana of any type that a gate you control could produce. So again, goes in your gate deck. Sure.
Awesome.
And then we've got, of course, all of our guild-specific shocklands.
I'm happy they're reprinting them. I'm sad they're not. Does this make me sound like I like the old cards better? Or I just don't like this art. I don't like any of them except for the Blood Crypt. So far. I don't like any of them.
I think that modern Ravnica art on lands is so hyper super detailed because that's what they think people like. And while they are beautiful because they are super hyper detailed and shaded, all great with all the most modern electronic drawing programs, I like the old art.
Like, am I alone there? Like, I'll use my favorite one, of course, as my example. But you look at the first Stomping Ground versus this one. Like, this one's cool. You get the point. The old one was just like a sidewalk with a bunch of stuff smashed on it and then a nice sky. It's a great foil. It's a cool little card. It's nice.
Yeah, I like them. I think they all look good in foil. I mean, they commission art specifically now, so it looks good in foil. Their process is different, right? This is what I think that you will like. I think that they have 2 arts of all of the guild gates. I think that Gruul guild gate you will love.
That one with just the door?
It's just a door.
Yeah.
Like everything else got smashed to shit except a door. And it's like you still have to go up and knock on it and be like, hey, Mr. Gruul, can I come in?
And they're like, no!
And they slam it in your face.
Yeah. And they would shut it too. And they wouldn't. And the guy would be like, oh.
And you bet your ass you're not walking around that door.
No.
Because you will get stomped flat.
Yes. I do like that, yes.
Yeah, okay, so we're in agreement there. I like it. All the land are very nice to look at.
They are cool. They're great. I don't want it to make it sound, I don't like this card. I just don't like them as much as the other ones. And I think that's fair.
You know what? The more I'm looking at them, the more I like them because I just love seeing all of the detail in them.
There's lots to be seen.
Yeah, I love that Rakdos Guild Gate where it looks like a giant circus tent with the Rakdos face on the front of it. And at the same time, I love the other Rakdos Guild Gate where it's like you're going down into this back alley like pub, but you walk in and it's like full of jesters and evil people. And
you're going to pay a whole bunch of money and you're going to have to wear a mask because everything that happens there is illegal.
Yes, and nobody wants to rat anybody out. And there's people from like the Azorius Guild there and it's like full of enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's just nice. Good flavor. Good flavor with those 2 different arts.
It's the place I like to go in D&D.
Yeah. But you don't tell any of your friends about it. It's like what you search for on Pornhub. You don't tell anybody that shit. That's Rakdos Guildgate for you right there. What do you think? On the whole, what's the set feel like? Good, bad, indifferent?
Honestly, I think as a whole, I'm kind of indifferent to this one. But I think that a lot of that is coming because the last set we got was Ultimate Masters, which had everybody kind of frothing at the mouth with how cool it was and how much great stuff was in it. This one has 2 cards that I am beyond excited for, and that's it. Everything else is like, I'll pick some of those up. Maybe 3, because there's that one that has all the cool art. But I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not upset that I can't get all of the cards right now. I'm not super hard up to play lots of these things.
Well, here's what I think. I think we are both at a point in our EDH playing career that we know what we like and what we don't like. We know what cards go into decks we currently own, and we know what types of cards we might want to build around in the future. So if a set happens to hit on a lot of that or fire on a whole bunch of our cylinders, as it were, great, we love the set. Otherwise, it's just like another set. Let's get our Shocklands. Let's get our foil Guildgates for our Guildgate decks. Let's get the few that we want, and that's it. You know what we should do, though? We'll talk to the dude bros and the CCO crew, I guess, and we'll maybe get together one of those what's in your cart shopping articles. Hey, we'll talk to the guys and see what everybody thinks.
Yeah, let us know. I'll CCO Brando, DM me or just tweet at me or whatever, and just let me know what are you the most excited for and kind of why. Like, what is it that's going to make you go to the store and buy product, or what are the singles that you're chomping at the bit? What are the ones that you have pre-ordered already?
Yep. I'm going to tell Brando that. He's going to tell me, and we're going to put together, him. He's going to put something together, and he's going to take into account the dude bros in the CCO crew and also all of CCO Nation, and we're going to get something for you to read.
Yeah.
Excellent. You can find it on CommanderCookout.com.
Yeah.
There it is.
90s cartoon cop voice. So that's the set. That's our second set review?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, kind of, I don't know, on a whole, I don't think as good as Ultimate Masters, but of course, because it's not Ultimate Masters, it's not Ultimate anything, it's our third run through Ravnica. Has it sparked your ideas? Do you have anything that you are pumped to build that you would not have built before we went back to Ravnica for the second time? For us, I don't think it has.
I definitely want to build Amplifier 1 creature deck.
But you guys are out there building newer stuff. Maybe you don't all have 10 decks like we do, and you want to build new stuff with these new things. If you do, let us know, and if not, we'll talk to you again on the next episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!